Okay, Math for College. Today we are looking at graphing linear functions. So notice everything we've been working on so far is, like say x equals 5 is our solution. Well, what you're going to have today is you're going to have many solutions because instead of one variable, you have two variables. So we're going to talk about 4 different ways in which you can produce a graph for solutions of 2 variable linear equations. So y is equal to negative 2x plus 1. One way you can create a graph is by making a table. I think one of the most wonderful numbers to plug in is 0. As you plug in 0 for x, what do you get for y? You get 1. I'm going to plug in 1 for x. If I plug in 1, negative 2 times 1 is negative 2 plus 1 is negative 1. If I plug in 2, negative 2 times 2 is negative 4. Negative 4 plus 1 is negative 3. If I plug in 3, negative 2 times 3 is negative 6, plus 1 is negative 5. You can then plot those points. 0, 1, 1, negative 1, 2, negative 3, 3, negative 5, and you can see the graph that you produce. That line represents all the solutions that work for that equation. So for example, you see negative 2, positive 5, negative 2, positive 5, that's one of the solutions to that equation as well. What's different about this next one? Got a fraction, right? I always love to plug in 0. If you plug in 0, what do you get for y? Negative 4. I don't want to plug in 1, and I don't want to plug in 2. I want to plug in 3. Does anybody know why? Good. 1/3 times 3 is 1. Minus 4 is negative 3. What other number do you think I could plug in?
6.
I love 6. 1/3 of 6 is 2. Minus 4 is negative 2. So when you see a fraction, look for what divides evenly into that. I plot them, 0, negative 4, 3, negative 3, 6, negative 2, and you have your line. Can you graph by making a table? Good. Look at the next one. You also want to be able to graph by making x and y intercepts. Finding x and y intercepts, a lot of students in your age group, they forget how to graph using x and y intercepts. I would say it is the most common way that I develop a graph, by looking at x and y intercepts. So let's talk about what that even means. This spot right there, is that an x-intercept or a y-intercept? X. It has a coordinate. It has an x value and a y value. You know one of those. Do you know the x value or the y value? Which one is it? I know the y value is 0, folks. Everybody agree that this x-intercept has no height to it? It has a height of 0. So therefore, x-intercept, plug in 0 for y. Let's look at my other intercept, this y-intercept. It has a coordinate. Do you know the x value or the y value? What's the x value? So for the y-intercept, plug in 0 for x. So let's go ahead and do it. I'm going to plug in 0 for x. I'm going to plug in 0 for y. And that's going to produce for me a value, and I can then plot it and graph it. Watch what happens. When I say x is 0, I basically just cover it up. When x is 0, what's y? 4. When y is 0, I just basically cover up the y. The new equation is 2x is 4. So what's x? It's 2. So you can see the coordinate 0, 4 and 2, 0. There they are. Your line is done. See how quick x and y intercepts can be for determining a graph? You try the next one on your own. Find the x and y intercepts. Go. When you're done, you can look on up and see if your graph matches mine. So I want to show you again really quick what I did. I crossed off the x's. If you cross off the x's, it says 2y is negative 6. So what's y? Negative 3 right there. And then I crossed off the y's. And I got negative 3x is negative 6. That told me x is 2. I've got it right there. Better? Flip it over. Another way you can graph is if you're given a point and a slope. So it says graph the line that has following properties. Slope of negative 2/3, it passes through negative 3, positive 4. So negative 3, positive 4, I need at least 2 points to generate a graph. How am I going to use my slope to find my next point? Rise over run. So that means we rise negative 2 or drop 2 and then run a 3. When we say run, we always move to the right. So drop 2, run 3. Drop 2, run 3. Drop 2, run 3. You can see how easy it is to produce multiple points and be able to create the line that satisfies those properties. The next one, slope of 4, passes through 2, negative 5. How do I produce the next points? Rise what? Rise 4, run 1. Rise 4, run 1. Rise 4, run 1. So on and so forth. You can see the line that develops. I've given you 3 ways to graph a line that has nothing to do with slope-intercept form. Yet slope-intercept form is probably what you use the most when you are graphing a line. See where I got the coordinate 2, negative 5? That's where I start. And then it says the slope of 4. 4 is a fraction, is 4 over 1. So it's a rise of 4 and a run of 1. Is that better? Slope-intercept form is probably the most common way that you graph a line. Anybody know what slope-intercept form is? Good. The B value stands for the y-intercept. M stands for slope. So let's do a couple of these and practice putting equations into slope-intercept form and graphing them. Here we have 3x plus y is equal to 1. So we're going to use this space to solve for y. I subtract 3x from both sides. I get y is equal to negative 3x plus 1. Can I combine the negative 3x and the 1? No, they're not like terms. What's my y-intercept? My y-intercept is 1. What is the slope? Negative 3 over 1. So what point do you think I plot first? 1 on the y-intercept. So where it crosses the y-axis. How do I get my second point? Down 3 over 1. This next one, how do I put it into slope-intercept form? What should I do first? Add the 2x. Negative y is equal to 2x plus 3. How do I get rid of the negative? Divide by negative 1. Do I divide the 2x by negative 1 or the 3 by negative 1 or both of them? Divide everything. And I get y is equal to negative 2x minus 3. So my y-intercept is negative 3. My slope is negative 2. You can write it as negative 2 or you can write it as negative 2 over 1. Either way is fine. Let's skip number 3 and let's go to number 4. What should I do first? Add the 2x. Negative 5y is equal to 2x plus 5. Divide by negative 5. y is, you see how you have that negative 5 on the bottom? You can put the negative with the top, or out front, or at the bottom. I generally like to put it with the top because you guys seem to understand that better. So negative 2 over 5x. And then 5 divided by negative 5 is negative 1. So that means that my y-intercept is negative 1, and it means my slope is negative 2/5. Plot the negative 1, and then slope of negative 2/5 means I go down 2 and over 5. Piece of cake, upside down. Okay, turn to your worksheets.